Jay?
Yeah.
At this point? Nah, I would want, why?
So, Jay-Z didn't just rise to the top. He climbed over the bodies of the men who trusted him most. And the first to fall was DeHaven Irby, the childhood friend who once took a bullet for him. In the Marcy houses of Brooklyn, they grew up side by side. Two boys bound by loyalty, poverty, and the hustle that would define their futures. DeHaven wasn't just a friend. He was the older brother figure who introduced Sean Carter to the street economy that became the foundation of his early lyrics. By his own account, he was the one who showed Jay how to move weight, how to survive the ambushes, and how to understand the code that ruled the blocks.
What's the first sucker move that he pulled, in your opinion?
Wow, I got a string of them, but look at me in my face, right? During my trial, look at me in my face telling me, yo, don't worry about it, bro. I got you. And I never see him again.
It was during one of those ambushes that DeHaven took a bullet in his side, shielding Jay from the spray of gunfire. The incident left a permanent scar on his torso and became immortalized in Jay-Z's 1996 track, when he rapped about, "My man got his side sprayed up on the Uptown block." That man, DeHaven has always claimed, was him. At the time, they were inseparable. Jay was the godfather to DeHaven's daughter, a regular in his family home, and a partner in the kind of street business that built both their reputations. They hustled from Brooklyn to Trenton to Maryland, carrying themselves like young moguls before either had seen a recording studio.
It's not just karma, that's just the forces of nature on how things work. You ruin people's lives, you do harshful things, and who's to say that he might ever pay that price? Who's to say he even done anything wrong to anybody else in his eyes? To me, that's not even the same person. That's someone else. It's not the Sean, the Jay I grew up with.
But loyalty has a price, and for DeHaven, it came due in 1998. That year, federal agents closed in on a sweeping indictment that would dismantle the network they'd built. DeHaven was arrested and charged in a federal conspiracy case that carried decades behind bars. He says Jay-Z promised to help. "Don't worry about it, bro. I got you." According to DeHaven, those words were the last real conversation they ever had. When the trial began, Jay-Z disappeared. There were no visits, no legal funds, not even a call to his family. DeHaven fought his case with a court-appointed lawyer, insisting he never cooperated with the authorities. He walked out of prison free, but broke, abandoned, and betrayed. Then came the public insult that made their feud permanent. In 2007, Jay-Z released No Hook, rapping, "DeHaven for caving, that's why we don't speak." The line accused his former friend of violating the street code by making statements, a label that in their world could destroy a man's name forever. DeHaven has spent years denying it, producing his own videos and interviews insisting that no paperwork exists, no testimony was ever given, and that Jay-Z invented the claim to erase him from the narrative. That accusation, he said, was a life-ending sentence in the streets. He called Jay-Z cold-hearted, a man who traded friendship for image.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
The tension deepened when DeHaven alleged that Jay-Z later partnered with Desiree Perez, his former girlfriend from the early 1990s, now known as the chief executive of Roc Nation. Perez had cooperated with federal authorities decades ago in a separate trafficking case, a fact that resurfaced when her name appeared in court records. For DeHaven, the irony was bitter. The same man who called him an informant now worked side by side with one. Whether coincidence or convenience, the optics were devastating for a rapper whose empire was built on the mythology of street honor. DeHaven's final verdict on his former brother was blunt. He's a coward, and he knows it.
Now you one of Jay-Z's day ones, like one of the original Circle crew members, brothers.
30 years.
30 years. How'd y'all first connect?
Streets, man. It was a connection through a mutual friend.
But while some were discarded, others survived by playing their roles perfectly. Emory Jones, known as Vegas, was the exception that proved Jay-Z's rule. Jones grew up in the same circles, ran the same hustles, and eventually faced his own federal case in 2000. He pleaded guilty to distribution-related charges and received a 16-year sentence. Unlike DeHaven, Jones didn't complain, didn't reach out, and didn't expect rescue. From prison, he told his family, "Y'all don't owe me nothing." That attitude set the tone. Jay-Z visited him, took his calls, and immortalized their bond in the 2006 track Do You Wanna Ride, opening the song with a real recording of Jones calling from behind bars. When Jones was released in 2016, Jay-Z made good on every promise. He hired him as head of lifestyle at Roc Nation and gave him equity in the Paper Planes brand, a streetwear label that soon landed a collaboration with Puma. The friendship became part of Jay-Z's legend. Loyalty rewarded, silence honored. But the contrast was impossible to ignore. DeHaven got erased, Emory got promoted. The question hangs in every analysis of Jay-Z's inner circle. Was Jones rewarded for his integrity or simply because he stayed quiet?
They all passed, you know. None of them could see the vision. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you about that. I'm glad.
Behind that story was another name that once shared equal billing, Kareem "Biggs" Burke, the quiet architect who co-founded Rockefeller Records in 1994 with Jay-Z and Damon Dash. Biggs had been the financier, investing street money to launch their empire. By the late 1990s, the label had become a powerhouse, producing classics and turning their founders into millionaires. But when the federal agents came again, Biggs took the fall. In 2010, he was arrested as part of a multi-state operation and later sentenced to 5 years in federal prison for trafficking-related offenses.
People gonna believe what they want to believe anyway, so, why waste my time?
And sometimes you respond to something that brings way more attention to it, too.
That too, and it's just, it goes into another space, and then you just like, oh, y'all not listening to me?
While Biggs was behind bars, Jay-Z sold Rockefeller to Def Jam and advanced his solo career under the same corporation, leaving many to believe that the split was designed to distance himself from any liability. When Biggs came home in 2016, he was a changed man, religious, philanthropic, and publicly careful. In a 2017 online interview, he described the Rockefeller breakup as a planned exit, but the lingering question remained: who planned it and who benefited most? That pattern, support when useful, silence when inconvenient, would repeat again and again. DeHaven, abandoned and slandered. Dame Dash, the co-founder, blacklisted after Rockefeller's sale. Biggs, imprisoned and replaced by corporate executives. Even Lance Rivera, the record producer stabbed at a Manhattan club in 1999, seemed to vanish from Jay-Z's story after the incident. Rivera has since said that Jay wasn't the one who stabbed him, though the rapper accepted a plea deal for assault and served probation. It left the public wondering if Jay-Z had taken the charge to shield someone else, or simply to control the narrative.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
As the years passed, the pattern hardened into a code. If you stayed useful, you stayed in the family. If you became a liability, you disappeared. Those left behind watched from the sidelines as Jay-Z's wealth climbed into the billions, his companies expanded into sports management and streaming, and his name became synonymous with legitimacy. But in the background, his circle was shrinking, replaced by corporate allies and legal teams instead of friends. Every move seemed calculated to protect the empire, even if it meant cutting ties with the men who helped build it. We can trace this evolution from the streets of Brooklyn to the boardrooms of Manhattan. The boy who once sold powder in Marcy Projects became the man negotiating billion-dollar deals with luxury brands. But along the way, the ghosts of loyalty lost still followed him. DeHaven's videos resurfaced every few years, keeping their feud alive. Dame Dash accused Jay-Z of using his influence to block business opportunities. Biggs, ever the diplomat, avoided blame but never denied the fractures. And now, as federal scrutiny circles around Jay-Z's oldest associate, Sean Diddy Combs, the stakes are no longer personal, they're existential. In 2024, when Diddy was arrested on racketeering and trafficking charges, the headlines immediately pulled Jay-Z's name into the orbit. For decades, the two had been inseparable in public, standing together at award shows, co-hosting brunches, and even donating jointly to national relief efforts. But once prosecutors described the alleged network behind Diddy's downfall, industry insiders began asking uncomfortable questions. How much did Jay-Z know? And if he didn't know, how could he not?
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
Those questions grew louder when, 2 months later, a civil lawsuit accused both Diddy and Jay-Z of assaulting a 13-year-old at an after-party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. The accuser, represented by attorney Tony Busby, described being lured by a limousine driver, intoxicated, and assaulted in a private room while an unnamed female celebrity watched. Jay-Z immediately denied every claim, calling them fabricated and accusing Busby of extortion. His legal team moved to dismiss the case and emphasized that he would not pay one red penny to settle. But the optics were disastrous. The same year his companies expanded into social justice work, his name appeared in one of the most disturbing lawsuits in entertainment.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
Jay-Z's response was swift and legalistic, but not personal. He insisted that he and Diddy were not close friends, only public acquaintances. Still, photographs, collaborations, and years of shared ventures told a different story. With Diddy awaiting trial in federal custody and more indictments rumored to follow, Jay-Z's silence has only fueled speculation. For decades, he mastered the art of staying above the chaos while those around him fell. But as the empire tightens and the headlines darken, we can't ignore the question that hangs over everything. Jay-Z didn't just betray his friends, he perfected it. And now, as the empire faces its most dangerous test yet, the one man left standing beside him is the same man the FBI says could bring it all crashing down. And that's where Diddy comes in. For years, Jay-Z and Diddy stood side by side, two kings of hip-hop, two self-made billionaires who turned street survival into global dominance. They toasted together at Roc Nation brunches, co-hosted events, and fronted campaigns about Black excellence and brotherhood. But when federal prosecutors closed in on Diddy in September 2024, everything changed. The indictment painted him as the architect of an empire built on manipulation and coercion, with allegations of secret freak-off gatherings, hidden surveillance, and coercive contracts that blurred the line between entertainment and exploitation. Prosecutors accused him of running a racketeering network through Bad Boy Entertainment, an operation that, according to the documents, used music as a front for darker activities. Overnight, Diddy went from music mogul to federal defendant, facing potential life in prison. And Jay-Z? He did what he always does when danger circles close. He went silent.
Sean had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
There were no public statements, no tweets, no messages of support. Within weeks, old photos of the two together began vanishing from Roc Nation's official pages. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered about quiet phone calls to publicists, lawyers, and digital archivists, a strategic erasure. Industry reporters noticed the same thing. Diddy's name suddenly disappeared from Roc Nation's list of past collaborators. The empire that had once celebrated their shared success now pretended the partnership never existed. It wasn't loyalty that defined Jay-Z's reaction. It was self-preservation.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Then came December, and with it, a revelation that stunned even seasoned industry observers. A civil lawsuit already filed against Diddy was amended to include Jay-Z's name. The allegation was explosive. A then 13-year-old attendee at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards afterparty claimed she had been intoxicated and assaulted in a private room by both men while an unnamed female celebrity allegedly watched. The filing described a drink that left her disoriented, followed by an encounter in which Jay-Z allegedly restrained her. The accusations sent shockwaves through entertainment law circles, not just for their gravity, but for their timing, landing only weeks after Diddy's federal indictment. Jay-Z's response was immediate and calculated. Through his lawyer Alex Spiro, he released a lengthy statement calling the claims idiotic and accusing the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, of attempted extortion. He filed a counterclaim asserting that the legal team had threatened to go public unless he paid to make it disappear. "No, sir," he wrote in a statement, "I will not give you one red penny." It was more than a denial, it was a declaration of war. But while Jay-Z moved fast in the courts, he stayed eerily quiet in the press. No interviews, no empathy for Diddy's accusers, just legal filings and silence.
How do you know I'm not a gangster? Or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, the industry's filled with gangsters.
That silence stands in sharp contrast to the image Jay-Z has spent years cultivating: the reformer, the philanthropist, the man who fights for justice. He produced the Khalif Browder documentary, funded the Reform Alliance for Probation Reform, and personally advocated for Meek Mill's release. He has positioned himself as the conscience of hip-hop, the billionaire who remembers the streets and wants to fix them. Yet when one of his oldest allies faces the ugliest accusations imaginable, Jay-Z offers no words of support, no condemnation, not even a comment. The dissonance is hard to ignore. The timing only adds fuel to speculation. The amended lawsuit arrived just as Diddy's empire was collapsing under the weight of federal evidence: confiscated hard drives, seized properties, and witness statements. Could the new filing have been strategic leverage? Some industry observers suspect the addition of Jay-Z's name wasn't random. It shifted attention from Diddy alone to a much larger question: how deep does this culture of silence and power really go? And if one billionaire falls, does he take the other with him? Meanwhile, insiders close to Roc Nation describe months of quiet panic. According to a former team member, Jay-Z's inner circle has been working overtime to distance him from anything tied to Diddy, scrubbing event credits, adjusting social media tags, and warning associates not to speak publicly about the pair's friendship. Even longtime collaborators have gone quiet, reportedly under pressure from corporate partners. The narrative is being rewritten in real time. But the problem, according to those same insiders, is that Diddy's accusers aren't just talking about him. Some have begun mentioning other figures who were present at parties, fundraisers, and industry retreats, names that connect back to Jay-Z's wider circle. The lawsuit itself also hints at another presence: the unnamed female celebrity allegedly in the room that night. Busby's filing does not identify her, but speculation runs wild. Was she an artist from the Bad Boy roster, a rising actress from that era, or someone still protected by Roc Nation today? Entertainment forums are buzzing with theories, and while no evidence has surfaced to confirm any identity, the mystery has only deepened public curiosity. And Busby's reputation complicates the story further. He is not known for bluffing. He files when he believes he can prove it. So, what does he have that hasn't been revealed yet?
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate, and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
We can see how the symmetry between Diddy's downfall and Jay-Z's survival raises a haunting question about design. In 2019, Jay-Z became hip-hop's first billionaire, celebrated for his business genius. 5 years later, Diddy's billion-dollar brand lies in ruins. One man ascended to corporate sainthood while the other fell into federal custody. Was it simply fate, or the final move in a long game of power? Industry veterans point to Jay-Z's long pattern of calculated exits. DeHaven, Dame Dash, Biggs Burke, all left behind when their risks outweighed their value. Perhaps this is just another example of the same rule, only this time the stakes are global. Inside the entertainment world, whispers are growing louder that federal investigators could expand Diddy's case to include other prominent names. Some reports even claim that agents have been reviewing footage and correspondence dating back to the late 1990s. If any of those materials cross into Roc Nation's orbit, it could drag Jay-Z into hearings he has fought to avoid his entire career. His silence may be strategic, but it might also be fear. Because if Diddy decides to talk, or if one of his associates cuts a deal, the walls could close faster than any public relations team can react. And yet, even now, Jay-Z continues to move as if untouched, appearing at charity galas, supporting the NFL partnership, and releasing luxury collaborations. The machine keeps running, fueled by silence and control. But behind the boardroom doors, one rule defines his empire: never let the streets touch the business. That code protected him for decades, until now. Because when the boardroom itself becomes the crime scene and the man you once called brother faces a lifetime behind bars, loyalty is no longer a virtue. It's evidence.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling.
Jay-Z built his legend on survival, on turning every betrayal into a lesson. But this time, the storm is not just coming from the outside. It's circling from within, pulling at the seams of his spotless legacy. The question now is simple and terrifying. When the truth finally surfaces, will it crown him as the master strategist of his era or expose the cost of his silence? We'll leave that to you. Was Jay-Z protecting his empire or hiding from it all along? Let us know what you think in the comments, because this story is far from over. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and remember, in this business, loyalty always comes with a price.